Throughout poker history, there have been some insanely controversial hands. But what are the ones with real staying power? What are the ones that we're still talking about today, and why? Let's get into it. In 7th, let's talk about Tony G's bluff against the poker brat Phil Hellmuth. Few poker hands are as legendary or controversial as this clash between two of the game's biggest personalities. Playing a cash game, Hellmuth was short-stacked and Tony G was eager to force him to rebuy or leave the table. Facing a raise from Hellmuth, Tony moved all in with ace-king, claiming he hadn't even looked at his cards. Hellmuth, holding ace-jack, eventually called, believing Tony's story.
Wow, all that talking makes me think he's strong. I was for sure gonna call before that.
When the cards were revealed, Tony's lie became apparent.
Oh, you lied.
Of course I lied. It's poker, Phil. What do you think this is?
That's messed up.
So messed up.
While Tony's move wasn't technically illegal, it was certainly controversial. His behavior highlights a key principle: never trust an opponent's words. As frustrating as the hand was for Hellmuth, it served as a reminder that poker is as much about mind games as it is about the cards. And the craziest part, this didn't even trigger a signature Phil Hellmuth meltdown. At number 6, a hand we actually covered in our video all around Will Kassouf, which you can check out in the description. Of course, we're going to be talking about Will Kassouf's clash with Griffin Benger, which took things to a new level. Known for his speech play tactics, Kassouf frequently goaded opponents with verbal jabs.
The best hand at the moment. Although you'd have called by now. So I must have you beat, right? We can talk, heads up. Don't be shy.
Benger, seemingly fed up, lashed out during a critical hand.
You're just an abusive person, man. It's not funny. It's not a game. You're being abusive to me.
How am I being abusive?
You're being abusive. It's called verbal abuse. What you're doing to me is verbal abuse.
Kassouf, holding pocket kings, faced a massive decision against Benger's all-in shove. The tension boiled over as the two exchanged heated words, culminating in Kassouf's call. When the cards were revealed, it became clear the confrontation was more dramatic than necessary. Pocket kings versus pocket aces is a cooler, plain and simple. While Kassouf's behavior was within the rules, it sparked debate about ethics and gamesmanship in poker. For Benger, the moment may have been an attempt to tilt Kassouf, but it left many wondering if the drama was more performative than genuine.
Check your privilege.
This is called speech play.
Check your privilege.
I'm trying to get information.
Check your privilege. You're a rude person.
I'm not a rude person.
You're a rude person. It's verbal abuse. This is what it feels like.
At number 5, we're talking about Deni Negreanu's button misclick, because even the best players make mistakes. Or do they? In a hand from Shark Cage, Deni Negreanu opened from the button with ace-king, but instead of a standard raise, he accidentally made it 11 times the big blind. Laughing, Negreanu immediately claimed it was a misclick. This put Steve Silverman, holding King-Jack, in a really tough spot. Against a typical button-raising range, King-Jack is strong enough to shove, but Negreanu's oversized raise raised suspicions. Was it a genuine mistake or a calculated ploy? Silverman eventually shoved, only to discover Negreanu was not bluffing. Though less controversial than other hands on this list, it highlights an important lesson. Poker is a game of incomplete information. Whether intentional or not, Negreanu's actions worked in his favor, an outcome Silverman will not soon forget.
The question is, did I do it on purpose to trap the big blind, or did I just do what's called a misclick?
In the 4th slot, we have Hossein Ensan putting forth some true sportsmanship. Let's set the stage. It was heads up for the EPT title. Hossein Ensan and Gleb Tremzin engaged in a tense river showdown. Ensan, thinking he was bluffing, made a final raise with a weak pair of 5s. Tremzin, holding an even weaker hand, declared,
"You call." You call? Yeah. You win. I'm just 5.
Seemingly folding. However, confusion arose when Ensan misunderstood Tremzin's words, assuming they indicated a call. Thinking he'd lost, Ensan began pushing chips into the pot, but the floor intervened to clarify the situation. While Tremzin technically had not called, Ensan decided to forego the additional chips, unwilling to win through a misunderstanding. His sportsmanship was widely praised, and karma seemed to reward him. Not only did he win the EPT event, but he later triumphed in the 2019 WSOP main event, taking home $10 million.
But next time, please don't bluff.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But you bluff also.
I have 5.
Top 3 time where it's Ivan Freitez with his dubious raise. In poker, verbal declarations are binding. Once you announce a raise or a call, you can't change your mind. A fact Ivan Freitez exploited in one of the game's most infamous angle shoots. During a hand, Freitez announced a raise on the river, but only placed chips for a call. When called out, he acted confused, claiming he intended to call.
Raise coming.
Sorry, call.
What?
Call.
The floor was summoned and confirmed Freitez's history of similar antics with strong hands. Forced to honor the raise, Freitez managed to confuse his opponent into making the call.
You announced raise. You announced raise.
No speak English. No way he meant to just call with a full house.
Though Freitez's actions weren't technically against the rules, they were widely condemned as unethical. This hand is a textbook example of angle shooting and a reminder that poker requires not only skill, but also integrity if you want to be one of the major players in the game. Alright, here are the final two hands. At number 2, we're going deep in the 2019 WSOP main event, where Dario Sammartino and Nick Marchington faced off in a hand that sparked heated debate. Holding pocket tens, Sammartino raised, only for Marchington to move all in with pocket queens. Sammartino asked for a count and the dealer incorrectly announced 17 million.
For me to make this call.
17-2?
17-2.
Assuming this amount, Sammartino called. Moments later, another player pointed out the actual count was 22.5 million. Despite the discrepancy, the floor ruled that Sammartino's call stood, citing the rule that players must confirm chip counts themselves. Though the decision followed WSOP guidelines, it drew criticism, especially after a tournament director's offhand remarks that calling 17 million means calling 22. Despite this whole controversy, Sammartino would go on to finish second in the tournament. And finally, at number 1, we have Deni and the mucked pocket aces. This one really hurts. The 2009 main event saw a heartbreaking moment for Deni when she was dealt a premium starting hand, pocket aces. Facing a raise from JC Tran to 32,000, Deni moved all in.
Deni moves all in for her last 142. Norman, it appears the dealer just pulled her cards into the muck.
Oh, wow.
However, she failed to protect her cards and the dealer accidentally swept them into the muck pile. Realizing the mistake almost immediately, Deni called for assistance, but her cards had already been shuffled into the discards. With no way to retrieve the hand, the floor ruled her cards dead. She was forced to match JC Tran's raise and forfeit the rest of the pot.
Her hand is dead.
Okay, am I finished the hand?
That is unfortunate. It is ugly for Deni, but it's by the book.
The situation was a complete gut punch, but poker rules are clear. Players must protect their cards at all times, and while the dealer should have been more attentive, mistakes do happen. At the end of the day, this was Deni's fault. So what can we take from all this? Well, for one, poker is a unique mix of skill, of strategy, and emotion, which automatically makes it ripe for controversy. Whether caused by miscommunication, by angle shooting, or by genuine mistakes, these hands prove that there are many different ways that hands can get thrown into uncharted territories. By learning from these moments, players can avoid similar pitfalls and navigate the complexities of poker with confidence. After all, the beauty of the game lies not just in winning, but in not losing by way of unforced error. So good luck out there. And that's it for this one. Thanks for checking out another episode of Poker Boom. If you like this list, make sure you go check out casino.org, where we pulled most of these entries from. It's a great source of poker content. See you guys in the next one.